Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank. First Merchants Bank, helping you prosper. Get ready to learn more about the Columbus Blue Jackets players and coaches, as well as find out what's going on this week in the NHL. Now let's join Bob McElligott for the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank.
Here we are in the final week of August already. September is looming. And with me this week is former Blue Jackets defenseman and Bally Sports Ohio star, Jean-Luc Grandpierre. Why are you laughing? You're a star. Come on, man.
Well, I appreciate the introduction, but you made it way more glamorous than it should. But so happy to be here with you.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, too. We haven't talked. Well, we've talked. You and I have talked, but we haven't talked on air about this over the summer. We're going to talk on this show. Jared Boll's going to come in and join us in just a few minutes. I am also going to talk with Sean Corrali here, but I want to get your impressions. Former player, current broadcaster, guy that's a big part of this organization, and what you've seen over the summer and how things have changed here and how excited you are with training camp looming just a couple of weeks away.
Extremely excited. Listen, as a player, nothing is better than a fresh start. And you can't trade 23 players on a roster so they have a fresh start. You can trade one to give them a fresh start, but not all 23. And by bringing a new general manager, new coach, that's exactly what you get here. And Don Waddell, I've dealt with him in Atlanta way back in the early 2000s in Atlanta. And
he was making your life decisions once upon a time. That's
right. And he was a fantastic human being. And obviously, he got even better as a general manager through the years, being successful in Carolina. And Dean Evason, you know, I've talked to you about Dean before he was even hired. That was my pick personally, just because in the short interaction that I had with him over the past couple of years, he's a straight-up guy and a guy that brings a lot of excitement to his players, and he brings accountability, and that is what that room, all those veterans, were craving for. So accountability, a lot of people talk about it, and I think it's overused, but the players now, some of the coach got a little more like player-friendly, but accountability has nothing to do with being a player's coach or not. It's really about making sure that you're accountable for your actions, mistakes, etc. And Dean Evason brings that.
Yeah, you had dealt with Dean when you were doing playoff games for TNT. That's why you told me right away, hey, this guy is the real deal. And that's just with a couple of conversations that you had preparing for games, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's me spending literally 30 minutes a day for like 4 days along with him. But it was just everything with his demeanor, the way he answers question, doesn't beat around the bush. He goes, I'll give you a straight answer, just like Don Waddell has been so far this year. Those two guys, I mean, you think about a GM and a coach have the same mentality and deal with reporters and questions and probably players the same way. That's exactly it, and that's what you want.
Absolutely. That's what you want. And that's what, as you said, veteran players. I had Jack Johnson on a couple of weeks ago, and that's what he talked about, you know, just wanting that and needing that. And a guy like Jack knows, because that's how you win.
That's how you win. And it's not just the Columbus Blue Jackets. Listen, I was just in Buffalo for an alumni tournament this past weekend, and talking to whether it was Kevin Adams or all the guys that cover the team, he said that room was begging for more accountability. And that's why Don Granato, got fired, and they brought in Lindy Ruff, because young players, yes, they like to have their way, but the veterans understand that without accountability, you're not going to be able to win. And eventually, the coach sets it up in that locker room, and that locker room is set. And you don't have to whack guys and hold them accountable, because the room will take care of itself, and I think that's the goal here.
As a former player, when you look at what happened here over the course of the past 3 seasons, the last 2 coaches you had, and I'm not counting anybody that didn't actually coach a game, okay? Brad Larson was here. Pascal Vincent was here. Before they were head coaches, they were assistant coaches. You have a different relationship with an assistant coach as a player than you do as a head coach. So when you're talking about that whole, the coach sets the tone, isn't it easier? Wouldn't you think it would be easier to set the tone coming in this situation like Dean is?
Absolutely, 100%. And I've been through it here with Gerard Gallant, because he was not coaching, then it was Dave King, and then all of a sudden Gerard comes in. You just have a completely different relationship with an assistant coach than your head coach. And when he stays within the same organization, it makes it really hard. Now, you look at Pascal Vincent or you look at Brad Larson, if they got a head coaching job somewhere else, again, it's a fresh start. they don't know Brad Larson. They don't know Pascal Vincent. And it's the same thing here for Dean Evison. Nobody in that room really knows him. They've heard of him. I'm sure players talk. But he can come in with a clean slate. There's no past relationship that the players are used to, and you can send your message in a little more stern way.
This organization has really beefed up on the blue line, both at the draft, drafted a lot of defensemen this year, and what they've gotten through. They just got a guy in a trade when Patrick Laine goes over to Montreal there a couple of weeks ago. So as a former defenseman, and you look at this defense, you know the guys that are coming back. You know Jack Johnson was added. You know Denton Matejchuk is coming at some point in time. You like what they have here defensively?
I do. I think first thing first, to allow less goal, you need good defense, but it's not just the defensive core, right? The forwards have to do something with it. Your goaltending has something to do with it. But now you look at defensemen. For me, Jack Johnson, I'm not sure if he's going to play 82 games, but we know he's in shape to play all 82. But just his presence on the blue line is going to help those young defensemen. So Jordan Harris, he's a young defenseman. You may have Jiricek, you may have Matejchuk, like you said. It's a young defensive core that needs real leadership. And I think Jack Johnson, Eric Goodbranson, Zach Werenski, obviously. Now there's a little bit more of these guys that can really have a real impact on that young D core.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too. And I think that, you know, especially early on, I think that could be one of your first impact places. And that's not taking away from Sean Monahan coming into play center, because I think that'll be an impact too.
Yeah, Monahan's going to be a big impact. And then the other thing too is, even with Goodbranson, his first season, you didn't know exactly how to step in. And then last season, it was a completely different player. Same thing happened with Damon Severson last year, because you walk in a room and it's not like, hey, let's do it my way. This is how you should be winning. But for Jack Johnson, it's different. Second time around, Stanley Cup winner, played with Nathan McKinnon. He's going to come in and make his presence felt immediately. And he may not be a guy that talks a lot, but just his demeanor is going to be a big difference.
In what has been an offseason of change, there are some faces that are staying the same. And one of those is Blue Jackets assistant coach Jared Bull. He's going to remain as part of the staff and work with Dean Evison. We're going to talk to Jared in just a couple of minutes. I also want to remind you that the 2024-25 ticket plans are on sale right now, and they start at just 11 games. You can choose the games you want. You can save up to 40% and also get bonus friends and family tickets. Learn more by going to bluejackets.com/ticket plans. Jared Bull joins me and Jean-Luc Grandpierre as the Inside Edge, presented by First Merchants Bank, continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Dormar, your climate hero.
Dort, what's that guy yelling about in my noisemaker?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Your climate hero, you fossil?
What's a climate hero?
That's Dormar, our same-day heating and AC company we've used for 60 years.
Who?
Dormar, your climate hero.
Come on, Dad, you laugh every time you hear their tidy-whitey commercials.
Yep, those are funnier.
Dormar, your climate hero.
It's Toyota's national sales event with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, including Toyota's lineup of go-anywhere, do-anything trucks, like the powerful new Tundra. Now through September 3rd, you can get a new Tundra with low-rate financing, special leases, or customer cash up to $2,000, depending on model. And the 2024 Tacoma is now arriving at your Toyota dealer with dominating power, legendary capability, and captivating style. Get details at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans Contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
T-Bone. Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof, but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444 roof.
We don't talk politics on the Fan. It's divisive, fear-stoking, and negative. That's what our social media is for. Or your crazy uncle's house, or the grocery store, or you get my point. The Fan, Ohio's politics-free destination.
What's wrong with Rick? He's kind of spacey.
That's Rick's identical twin, Scott. He's not used to answering to Rick.
What's going on?
Rick asked me to keep it secret, but he asked his twin to cover his shift so he could go to Diamonds Direct to shop.
But this is a jewelry store.
Exactly. But the prices and selection are so much better at Diamonds Direct. Rick doesn't want the boss to get suspicious, so Scott's here in case the boss sees Rick at Diamonds Direct.
But that would mean that the boss is at Diamonds Direct, too.
Yeah, we have a lot of secrets.
You never know who you'll run into at Diamonds Direct. With unbeatable direct importer prices, the highest quality diamonds, the most sought-after designer rings, the best customer service, the strongest guarantees in the industry, it's just a no-brainer.
You think if Scott had a mustache, he'd look like me?
Go where everyone goes. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
As the official financial services partner of your Columbus Blue Jackets, Bread Financial is ready to join the fifth line and light the fuse. And that's not just cannon fodder. They offer simple, personalized payment, lending, and saving solutions. From the Bread Cashback American Express credit card to high-yield savings, CDs, and even buy now, pay later options, you'll find financial solutions for any budget. Shoot and score at breadfinancial.com.
Everyone has that one goal, that thing they want to prove, not to other people, but to themselves. Then, right when you think you could actually do it, cancer. And that goal is still within reach. Oh no, I'm about to run my first ever marathon with my two best friends. 3 years after having cancer.
At least we look good in these shorts.
Woo! Let's get it, guys. You, keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Partly sunny, hot and humid with light winds and a few storms on this Wednesday. Temperatures in the mid-90s, down to around 70 degrees. Showers and storms fading overnight for your Thursday morning. Thursday afternoon, back in the low 90s. Partly sunny skies, still humid with scattered thunderstorms again later in the day through Thursday evening. With your 10 weather impact forecast, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jerry Martz on The Fan.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. I'm Bob McElligott with Jean-Luc Grandpierre. Right now, sitting down with us is Blue Jackets assistant coach Jared Bohl. And Jared, thanks for the time as always. And it is great that we still have you as part of this coaching staff. How much are you looking forward to working with Dean Evison?
Yeah, I'm obviously really excited for the opportunity. You never know when there's this much change in the organization, if you're going to stick around or not. So I'm excited about it. We spent a little bit of time together as a staff getting to know each other. There's a few new guys and some of us that are staying on board. So I'm really excited. Just heard such good things about Dean as a coach and as a person. So I'm just excited to get the chance to work with him and learn from him and just grow as a coach and get better as a coach myself. So, and like you said, there's a lot of good talent and a lot of good players in that locker room. So I'm lucky enough to stay on board and keep working with these guys and build a winner here.
As you talked about, when there are changes, you never know what's going to happen. When you're a player, you don't deal with that nearly as much because you've got a contract, and yeah, they might trade you, but other than that, a GM can change, a coach can change, big deal. You've got your contract, you're going to stay. Now you're on the other side of this, and you're attached to that general manager and that coach. And is this the first time you really felt that whole, like, because obviously Brad Larson coached after John Tortorella, and then Pascal Vincent was here, but Jarmo Kekalainen was the constant there as general manager. Now, once he moves on, is it the first time that you kind of felt a little bit unsure and just didn't know what direction it might go?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of a long summer because there was a lot of question marks up in the air of who was going to take over and who was going to stay on board. So yeah, it was a long summer, but it's out of your control at that point. I kept telling myself, don't worry about it. It's totally out of your control, and wait to see what happens. So all I can worry about is doing my job the best of my ability and hopefully get a few good words, because I know when someone comes in that they'll do their homework on who's here and who to keep and the changes that need to be made. So like I said, I'm fortunate enough that Dean's given me a shot to stay on board, and we'll go from here. And I'm just really excited about the opportunity, really excited about the staff that we have here, and looking forward to get going. It's been a long summer.
When you first met Don Waddell and then Dean Evison, did you kind of get a feeling that, did you know at that point that you thought you'd stay around, or did you get good vibes, I guess, with these two guys upon your first impressions?
Yeah, I did, and I knew him a little bit. Hockey is such a small world. It's if you don't know someone personally, you probably know someone that knows them on a friendly basis or can put in a good word. So my first interaction with Don was quick. He had a lot on his plate. He took over with a lot to do. So he was great with me. He was upfront. He was honest. He said, "Be patient, and we're going to work through this." So it's been great. And like I said, I didn't know what was going to happen until the first time I sat down with Dean and we got to know each other a little bit. And I said, "I think this will work out." So like I said, I'm happy that I got to stay on board.
Jared, take us through, for the listeners, take us through what it's like to be a coach off-season, new coach coming in. How much work do you have to put in? Because now you have new system, new everything. How much work do you have to put in, from now until training camp?
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's different. I'm fairly new to coaching still. And in my head, all I wanted to do was be organized, get my stuff together, get my idea of how I want to play and how I would do things. But at the end of the day, it's up to the head coach, so I can present to him and tell him how I see it and how I see us playing. And that's where that conversation happens, and you go back and forth. And at the end of the day, it's his call. But we aligned on how we see the game being played, and we both have different thoughts and stuff. But yeah, it was interesting. It was good to go through. It was a learning experience for me. And like I said, just keep trying to get better every day and grow.
And for Dean Evison, obviously, he was in Minnesota. Now he's here. Don Waddell was in Carolina. You're the constant here with Steve McCarthy on the staff. Does he pick your brain a lot about what you've seen over the last couple of seasons and what needs to be implemented here? Because you can watch video all day, but you guys are in the room and kind of know the temperature of the room and the way the team plays. Good things, bad things. Does he ask a lot about that?
A little bit. That's a great question because when I first sat down with him, that was one of the first things I brought up. And I said, I've been here a while. I have some thoughts on some stuff, but I think it's a new coach, a new GM coming in. We haven't had the success we've wanted in the past few years. I think it's a clean slate for everyone. So I told him if he asks questions, if he wants to know stuff, then yeah, I'll answer truthfully and what I feel. But I just didn't really want to go backwards and talk about what's been going on too much in the past, because I think it's a fresh start for a lot of guys, players, coaches, trainers, everyone. And I think a lot of guys, because I remember as a player, a new management, new people come in, new eyes on you. You want a clean slate to really show them what you got and prove yourself. So that was kind of my mindset. Obviously, I was open. If he wants to know anything, I'll gladly answer. But I'm just ready for a fresh start for the guys, and really hit the ground running day one of camp.
Talking with Jared Bull, assistant coach for the Blue Jackets. I want to ask you, one of the areas that you are going to be in charge of is faceoffs. This is something that this team has struggled with, or individuals more so have struggled. Like Boone Jenner, Sean Corrali, pretty much slam dunk. Other guys got to get better at it. As a guy, you didn't play the center position, so what do you do? How do you help guys try to get better in that aspect? What studies do you go through? What kind of advice do you give? What's your process in that?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I never was really a centerman, but it's hockey. I kind of understand the position. But a lot of learning over the last few years, talking to ex-teammates that I've played with, guys that have been really good centers in this league for a long time, and picking their brain a little bit. But center positions, it's not easy. And it's hard for a young guy to come in and play center. So I've been learning on the fly, but it's repetition and work. I think we can work at it more. It's just like anything. You go to the range to practice your swing. You got to work on face-offs before or after practice to get better at it. It's just something you got to work at. And it's funny when you see young guys come in. They think they're gonna clean people out of the dot, but it's guys make a living taking face-offs. So it's a learning curve for young guys, and we're getting better at it, and we'll continue to grow at it.
As an assistant coach, how much preparation from depending on the opponent do you have to make on face-off? Like, because video's everywhere now.
Yeah.
Do you do you watch video of, let's say, Crosby, Malkin, whoever, if you play Pittsburgh ahead of the game to help your centers with their little tricks, etc.? Or is that something that you guys kind of just fly over and whatever happens, then that happens?
Yeah, no, we give them all the material they need. They know what guys' tendencies are and what they want to do and the best way to beat them. But yeah, guys will change it up. Like, we do our pre-scout just like you do your pre-scout for 5-on-5 or special teams. We do our pre-scout for face-offs. Teams like to run different stuff on D-zone exits and offensive zone wins. So you got to be prepared for what's coming. But I think the most important thing is just know what you're doing and do it the right way, and it will take care of itself. But yeah, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it.
You ever notice when we talk about face-offs, like you just did it, and I do it too. This is why I'm asking you. We're always talking Crosby, Malkin. Like, why do we always go there? We never go McKinnon, Trocheck. It's always Crosby, Malkin. I guess because you see him 4 times a year. Right. Probably has something to do with it. But Jared, the last thing on that on face-offs though is really a lot of what it comes down to is something that you are very good at: competitive. Mm-hmm. You got to be competitive on those draws, because if you're not, you're going to be the guy getting whacked out of the circle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. I call it I tell our guys, get your nose dirty. So get over the dot, and you want to own the dot. I call it's the only really set play in hockey, because everyone is stopped and the puck's dropped. So it's the only really time in the game you can run a set play from a stoppage. So just be prepared. Know your routes, and the competitive side is I think is the most important thing, is owning the dot and getting your nose dirty and doing whatever it takes to come out with that puck. Because obviously, if you're starting every play with the puck is a lot better than chasing it down trying to get it back.
Face-offs are harder than you think. Much harder.
Oh,
I'll tell you a story.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
So
you took a face-off?
Early 2000, yep. 5-on-3, we were killing a penalty in St. Louis. And I think it was Dougie Wade taking the face-off against me. And they have McInnes and Pronger at the point. And Serge Aubin gets kicked off the face-off dot. Now there's me and I think a wild old line. So I was like, I'll take it. Whatever. It can't be that hard.
Yeah.
I lost the face-off so clean. The puck went between McInnes and Pronger, and it turned to a breakaway for me because they both kind of looked like surprised, and I just took off. I didn't score, so it's not a great story. But that's
it was a set play, though, right? You meant to do
in my mind, exactly. But I tried so hard, but it's not only about eye-hand coordination. There's so much more involved because every players make it a different way, and I mean, it's hard. It's very hard.
It is. There's a lot that goes into it, and the timing aspect of it. You got to be I mean, guys are really good at it. Like I said, guys make a living out of taking faceoffs. So, it's a big part of the game.
We're with Jared Bohl, assistant coach for the Blue Jackets. Has there been any one move over the course of the summer that has excited you more than the others, or just watching the way that Don Waddell has kind of reshaped to what you have here? And he had to make tough decisions, and I know there are guys that you like that were in that room that aren't in that room anymore, and there's some guys that have come in from the outside, but is there one thing that has you really excited, or just the culmination of things?
I think the combination of just a fresh start for a lot of guys. Like I was talking about earlier, I think a fresh set of eyes on guys, a new way of looking at things, and obviously bringing in Monahan's huge, just to have that veteran. We've been a young team for a long time, so I think a guy that's been around, has played that position and has done really well in this league, will help a lot of our guys. And even Jack Johnson, he's a guy you bring in, and I know everyone's familiar with him here, but he's done it the right way. He's played a long time. He's in unbelievable shape. He's a proven winner. So just to have that on the ice and in the room for our guys will help a ton. And then, like you said, with Dean coming in and a new, I don't know the right word for it, but just a new approach and a different voice, and he's intense, but he's fair, and he just wants to get the best out of you, and you can really tell he cares about the guys and about winning and just starting the right way. So it's a fresh start for a lot of guys, myself included. So I'm ready to get going, man.
Have you guys missed that intensity? And I don't mean that as a knock on Brad Larson or Pascal Vincent, but somebody from outside with an intensity. Both of those guys were familiar with the players because they had been here as assistant coaches. This is totally different. Like you got to impress a new boss, really, this time around. And when you add that to the intensity that he has, how much do you see that could really be a good thing?
Yeah, it's huge, and it rubs off on guys. It's been a tough few years, and everyone's gone through it, and you learn a lot from mistakes and stuff you do right. And it's just like you said, a different voice, a guy from the outside kind of coming in that doesn't really know much about. I mean, he does his homework, he knows the players, but just how they act and on a personal level, and that's interesting to see, and see him get to know guys and on a personal basis and push their buttons different ways. So it'll be fun, and I know he's excited, and we're all excited.
One more thing for me, and you talked about Jack Johnson, and you've played, but explain to people what it's like to have like a proven winner. And you look at Jack Johnson, he wins the Stanley Cup, played with Nate McKinnon, probably one of the most intense players in the NHL that needs to be calmed down sometimes, I heard, because he's that intense. But how much is experience so valuable for this team right now, especially being young, but just learning how to win and, talking about losing should not be acceptable, and bring that mentality in that locker room?
Yeah, it's huge. And Jack's not a rah-rah. He's not the most vocal guy, but he leads by example. And to play for as long as he has and keep yourself in shape and stay healthy like he has. And like you said, being on winning teams, have been there before. When stuff goes south, he's kind of there. He's that calming presence he's been there before, and he knows how to just steer the ship in a different direction. And I think that will help a lot for our guys, and almost a voice of the coaching staff as well, to kind of be preaching the same message. And guys that have been there and won before and been on successful teams. So to bring that to our locker room and on the ice is going to be, I think, a huge help for us.
Thanks for taking time with us. Always great to see you. And I know I speak for Jean-Luc when I say we're so happy that you're still here and still part of it, because you've been for so long, and you care so much about this organization and about this city. So glad you're still doing what you do, my friend, and best of luck to you as training camp gets ready to start.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
So that is Blue Jackets assistant coach Jared Bohl. Coming up next, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Blue Jackets centerman Sean Corrali a couple of days ago. You'll hear from Sean as the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and
it too, and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances, like the LG Smart Top Load Washer with easy unload angled front, so you can reach every last sock. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select appliances in-store and online with Labor Day savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details. America's most reliable line of appliances per independent study.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Common Man and T-Bone.
We always do Wild Card Wednesday.
I'll be 80, but I'll be here going...
Listen, you don't have to wait till you're 80 to start doing that.
Common Man and T-Bone.
Sponsored by the Hinderer Motor Company.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on The Fan.
A system for every home and every budget with Logan Services 55th anniversary sale. Replace your air conditioner and save up to 55% on a qualifying Trane furnace. And take action with financing. 0% APR financing for 72 months. It's hard to stop a Trane. Estimates are free and next day installation is available now. So schedule your appointment online. We're the home of fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
Meet Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Maryhaven.
More and more people are falling into problem gambling. It can happen so quickly that you don't realize it until you face a crisis. Gambling issues often connect to depression, anxiety, or other addictions. Maryhaven's experts offer comprehensive care. You and your loved ones can count on mental, emotional, and financial guidance.
Confidential and judgment-free. Go to Maryhaven.com today.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island.
This season on Nada Yada Island.
You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. How much income will you need to retire? Let us help make sure you reach your financial goals. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Back to work, back to school, back to games. Next week, we'll be settling back into a routine. Don't settle. Mix that routine up with the solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, easy, and free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
All Blue Jackets, all the time. This is the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McElligott. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome back to the Inside Edge. I'm Bob McElligott. I'm joined right now by Blue Jackets centerman Sean Corrali. And Sean, great to see you. Thanks for taking some time for me. How's your summer been?
Thanks for having me, Bob. Good. Glad to be back and starting to think hockey again and start thinking about the season. And good time away, but anytime you get to start gearing up for another season, it's an exciting time. And I think you could feel it in the air. Waking up today, it's a little chilly.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a nice week for that, right? Starting to get that hockey kind of feel to it. What'd you do this summer? Anything special?
You know, it was originally just got away, did a little traveling, got out of town a little bit, and just saw some new things and got away. And then you just get back to it, kind of do what you usually do, and try and train in ways that are going to be advantageous to your body and your situation and your health and speed and skill and all that stuff. So I think every summer is a summer where you're trying to take a step forward in some aspect, and it takes a whole summer, and even sometimes you're like, geez, where did it go? And I wish I had some more time to keep working, but do as much as you can. You move forward and you get excited for the season.
Did you travel with a plan? Like, were there places that you wanted to go, things you wanted to see?
Yeah, I mean, I did Europe, which was fun. I actually had to go to one quick trip for a wedding and then one kind of a family trip to check out some areas in Switzerland, and saw some soccer in Europe. My brothers are big into soccer, so saw some Euro Cup soccer, and so a little bit of a plan, a little bit of not. Just new places, new things, and I found that super refreshing and invigorating, and a little bit around the U.S. So it was fun. It was fun. Excited, good to clear your mind, get away, but now excited to be back.
Yeah, and I ask you that because obviously we get paid to travel for a living, right? But we go to the same places. Well, except for this year, we'll get to go to Salt Lake City, which is different.
Exactly.
But so when, like we probably get to go to a lot of places that people haven't been in North America. So when you say traveling for fun, some might say, don't you get sick of traveling? You travel all year long.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, it wasn't to any of those cities that we go to that I've seen. New things in Europe, I think, are always fun to see. I've done it the past couple summers and really seem to enjoy it. So check out some new things, see new cities, and eat some new food and
different lifestyle,
right? And just kind of mix it up a bit. But like you said, you do realize that after a little bit, you're wanting to get home, and wanting to get home from vacation means it's pretty good at home. So I'm happy at Columbus.
Thing I find funny about traveling, like during the off season like that, is you don't get handed an itinerary saying, it's going to come up on your phone. The plane is leaving at this time. Now you've got to go through just like everybody else through the security and all that stuff that we don't have to do during the season. But it's not like buses this time, make sure you're here this time. It's all on your own. And I took my family to the draft this year in Vegas, right? We were out there for a week. And I found myself at different points going, man, I wish I had somebody to plan something for me.
Seriously. You realize how much goes into planning a trip. I mean, if, we have every hour of the day lined up, and I'm just like, think it all falls into place. And there's obviously a lot of people working really hard, AJ and Julie on our side, and many others kind of getting everything in line. And, when you have to do it yourself, it's not nearly as fun, and you're ready to be done with it. Where am I going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner? And how am I going to get there?
That's the worst part.
And, there's a place you want to get a reservation to that's it's nice. You can't get in, and you got to make a couple calls, and you got to, do it this day or that day, get on the train, get a train ticket. It's like you said.
I know, just like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
You're so spoiled. It actually, to be honest with you, though, now that you mentioned it like that, in all seriousness, for those out there that are going, listen to these guys.
Yeah.
But it is good. It does remind you of, even when times are bad, if you're struggling through a season, or if you have an injury and you can't play, whatever the case is, whenever it's going bad in your job, it's a good reminder of how good you actually have it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I think, the point to it. And also, how, stimulating and fun and interesting, and, your mind kind of is using a different part when you're doing some of these things that you don't usually do. And I find those things fun, trying to figure out how to get on a train from this city to that city, and we'll figure it out. We'll get there. We got to be there at 7:00 and just figure it out. So I find it fun, and we are spoiled, and like I said, you got it good when you're wanting to get home from vacation.
If Aaron Johnson's listening to this, he might say, "Hey, Sean, we need you to plan Salt Lake City. Nobody's ever been there. Why don't you just figure it out? You're good at this."
Maybe I'll add a. I always like the train up the East Coast. Maybe a train from Philly to Philly.
Yeah, when you were in Boston, you guys used to do that all the time, right?
Ottawa to Montreal, Philly to DC. I don't know where else you can do it, but wherever you can do it, it's kind of a nice little change of pace.
Yeah. We did it a couple of years ago. We did I think it was the Ottawa to Montreal, or vice versa, right?
Yeah.
And it was, you're right. It was neat. It was different.
Yeah.
It was kind of more relaxing in a way.
It is more relaxing than a flight for sure. But, just mix it up.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
I like that. Talking with Sean Corrali, Blue Jackets centerman, and you've been talking about getting back, and, obviously you're on the ice, you're working out, you're getting ready for training camp. It's a little bit different around this place these days, obviously. New general manager, new head coach, new members of the coaching staff. How much have you dealt with in this little bit of time in the summer? I mean, has that fully hit you yet, or is that something that once everybody's here and a camp begins and you see those new faces all the time, it'll hit home?
Well, I think you're still waiting for the guys, the majority of the guys to trickle, and there's obviously been guys that have been in for the summer for certain stints of time, but I think we're looking forward to all the guys coming back as a group. But there's obviously and evidently been some changes, and it wasn't the season we wanted, which goes without saying. It wasn't how the results we wanted. So there's been some changes, and I think that's what you'd expect after a season like we had, change. And so now it seems pretty clear the direction we're moving, and I think we've got some strong leadership, and now it's going to be on the players to put together what we've got in our room and make the best of it. I think that's your goal every single year is look around the room. What do we have, and how can we make the most of these pieces, and how can we get the most out of everybody, and you get the most out of yourself. I think that's number one, is everyone just look themselves in the mirror and say, how can I help this team as best I can? And yeah, rising tide raises all ships. So if we all get better, and it's good for everybody, and you really do, Bob, and you know what it's like being on the road and being around the team. When regardless of, if you're in the Stanley Cup final, when you're performing to a level that is, you feel good about, and the team feels good about. And I think that's where we want to get, and we can feel good about it. We're working hard, and we're not going to, it's not going to be perfect, but we can get to a point where we're winning, a certain amount of games, and the team feels confident, and we can enjoy being around each other, and we can enjoy coming to the rink, and the competition of it can be fun. And we're going to take our lumps, and we're going to take our bruises, but I think that's where it becomes fun, is when we can kind of come together as a team and make some hay in the league, and whatever that looks like for the season is what it looks like. But you just want to just push it forward in the right direction.
All right, let me ask you. You just said when you have the season like you have, you expect change. But from another standpoint, in a way, don't you almost demand change as a player? And when I say that, I don't mean that you want anybody to lose their jobs. Okay, nobody wants that. But there comes a certain time where you can see that's going to happen. And actually, when your general manager gets let go during the course of the season, as happened to you guys last year, you want that change, right? You know there's going to be change, and you just want it, and you want it to be in the positive.
Yeah, and first of all, let me add, anytime people are losing their jobs, unfortunately, it's a reflection of the product, and players are part of that product. So you feel a sense of responsibility. You don't want to be anywhere where you got a coach or management losing their jobs. I think it's just not something that sits well with the player. It's kind of like these things are happening, and it's a collective group of 23 men, but on our watch. So I think now it's there's been the change, and at some point it's the players are going to be the constant for the most part. And what can we do in that room to make it better and actuate the vision that we're being led in the direction of that vision. So I think that's the goal, and I'm not sure I totally answered your question, but
no, you got it.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I will take it. I'm talking with Sean Corrali of the Columbus Blue Jackets. We'll be back with more as the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank continues here on 97.1 The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Coming this Labor Day weekend, Bob's biggest challenge yet. It's time to dare to compare. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got beeps and boops and dings and whomps and more savings than you'll believe on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. And best of all, you get to play too this Labor Day weekend. Now open in Reynoldsburg and coming soon to Polaris. See how much you can save this Labor Day weekend when you dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you need a new roof but you're not sure you can afford it, no problem. Right now, Able Roof is offering no payments, no interest until 2026 for qualified buyers. Yep, that's the same Able Roof that's been voted the #1 roofing company in Columbus by Consumer Choice Awards 22 years in a row. Want more? Able Roof will give you up to $1,000 off a new roof, siding, or windows. This is a limited time offer, so call Able Roof today.
Call Able for the proof. 444-ROOF.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Rothman and Ice.
Each room, Maddie, is named after a famous golfer. Nicklaus Room, Palmer Room, Tiger Woods, all that.
Anthony Rothman Room.
Yes.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Here are 5 great reasons to get a Blue Jacket season ticket plan this season. 1. Choose the games you just gotta see. 2. Plans start at just 11 games. 3. Savings up to 40%. 4. A ticket trade program for games you can't make. And 5. Invitations to exclusive events all year long. Come on, need more reasons? Visit BlueJackets.com/tickets today.
Every breakaway, every penalty kill, every check into the boards, it all takes hard work. And hard work needs advanced rehydration. That's why the Columbus Blue Jackets choose Pedialyte as their official hydration partner. Pedialyte has twice the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading sports drinks. Hydrate like the pros and make Pedialyte a part of your exercise routine. Per liter, Pedialyte has at least 1,030 milligrams of sodium and no more than 25 grams of sugar. Leading sports drinks have approximately 460 milligrams of sodium and 58 grams of sugar.
Let's talk interest rates. Not that kind of interest. I mean interest in you. At First Merchants Bank, we are 100% interested in your success. Our bankers provide a level of attentiveness unlike any other. We're here to get to know you and to be a helpful partner in your financial success. Aren't you tired of your bank just saying they care about your business? Make the switch to First Merchants Bank and feel the difference of real, honest interest in you. First Merchants Bank. For a better banking experience, visit firstmerchants.com/switch, helping you prosper.
Can't get enough Blue Jackets conversation? Good news. It's Hockey O'Clock. It's the Inside Edge with Jody Shelley and Bob McGilligan. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jackets hockey this season at Nationwide Arena. Single game tickets are on sale right now. Learn more by going to bluejackets.com/on sale. I'm Bob McElligott talking with Sean Corrali on this week's edition of the Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank. You're going on your 3rd head coach since you have signed here as a free agent. That's a lot of different guys, a lot of different messages. Dean Evison, how much of a conversation have you had with him? Now, he's a guy that, of course, coached in Minnesota, so I don't know if you touch base with anybody around the league that you know that played for him to see how it is, but what are your early impressions on what you might be facing with the new coach and the kind of demands that he has on players?
So you obviously do hear from other players kind of what you know, the style of coaching and how he approaches a season. And, you know, you've heard all positive things. And those Minnesota teams, I mean, for me, I honestly think back of more what it was like to play against his teams and I think I get a good idea of what it's going to be like under him to play for him as based on that. And those teams played hard, and those Minnesota teams, they played with some snarl, and they weren't. It wasn't fun to go in there, and obviously they had their troubles and had some challenges. I think it was scoring goals and stuff, but I think it might be a good match for us because we got so much skill. We got so many young, extremely talented young players that are kind of on the precipice of taking the next step. So it's exciting. Dean is experienced. He's been in the league. He was in the league 4 seasons in Minnesota, and he's been around hockey a long time. He's an ex-player. He played a lot of hockey, played hard, and is well respected around the league. So we've got someone that's going to demand a lot, and I think that's what this team's been looking for, someone like that. And we're going to get the accountability piece down, and we've got some work to do. There's no doubt there's some work to do, and I think after speaking with Dean and meeting Dean that he's excited for that, and I think that's going to bleed through the team.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you personally, how welcoming you are of that, because you came here from Boston. I mean, you were playing with Stanley Cup contending teams, and you came here not just wanting to come home and be home, but to come home and win, and that's something that hasn't happened for you since you've shown up here so far. And you talk about that style and that the hard, the grit, tough to play against. I mean, that's your game. How much are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, I think as a player, it's just all you want is it to be black and white and know exactly what you need from me on a daily basis and what you're expected of, and I think that's what you yearn for as a player. And you get feedback, and sometimes it's not always pretty, but as long as it's consistent and as long as it's not it's not always equal in this league, but it's expected to be fair, and I think that's what we're going to get. That's what I've heard, and that's what we're excited about. So just really, I think it comes down to being simpler than you think. It really is black and white as we can get. We know our rules inside our game, and time and score, and where we want to make plays and where we don't, and who we want to make plays. And sometimes it's who has other jobs and other expectations, and everyone's going to have a little piece that they have to take from this pie for us to get to where we want to go. And it's going to be, I think, very clear what everybody's job is and what everybody's expected of. And I think as a player, that's the end-all, be-all where you want to be.
Talking with Sean Corrali, Blue Jackets centerman. You've seen a lot of teammates moved out this summer, quite frankly, whether they're, they were bought out or traded or just not re-signed or whatever the case is. The latest being Patrick Laine leaving this team. It's not often that you trade a guy that has been a former 40-goal scorer and you think, well, maybe in some way this makes us better. But the situation where it looked like he wanted a new look and maybe the organization needs a new look without him and this and that. But, just all-encompassing, how tough is it as a player when whether guys work out, whether you're winning or losing, you're still tight in the room. And you lost a lot of buddies over the summer. I know it's all nature of the business, but there's still that human element to it. You're going to miss a couple of guys.
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part when you're going through a season. I've said this early in the last few seasons, is like, if you're going one way or the other at the trade deadline, and if you don't earn to stay together, you'll be you'll be taken apart. And a lot of time at those deadlines, the teams want those playoff players, and you don't want to lose those playoff players. And unfortunately, in the last few years, we've lost a few of those kind of guys. Then there's been some other situations, obviously, guys moving on for different reasons, new management, maybe a bit of a new vision, and different circumstances, obviously, the most recent with Patty moving on to Montreal. And, as a group, we wish Patty the best. Obviously had a tough time, last season, and maybe a fresh start's what Patty needs. So we're going to be pulling for him. First of all, just as a friend to feel good and be happy and be healthy. And then to have success on the ice is something I know we all know we can do. We saw it on a daily basis. So you wish him the best. You wish all the guys that moved on the best. And sometimes moving on isn't always the worst thing for them personally. Maybe it's a fresh start, a new way to, take what you learned and take it to the next level. So personally, it stinks. You see the guys during the season. You can say hi. You can have dinner, which is fun. But most importantly, we are getting our group, and we're starting to see, who's going to be in our locker room, and those are going to be the most important 23 that we've got to figure out how to come together and do it quickly, and make new friends or new teammates, and there's a lot of good people in this league, so I think it'll be no problem.
A couple of guys you added over the summer, veteran guys. Sean Monahan's going to come in. Of course, he and Johnny Gaudreau played together in Calgary. They automatically have a bond right there. Jack Johnson comes back, like you, wanted to be back in Columbus here, back with his family, very happy guy, and a much more experienced player than he was when he left here a couple of years ago. He's a Stanley Cup champion now as he comes back and joins his team. What about just putting a couple of guys like that with their experience into the group that you already have here?
Yeah, both of which are experienced players, and I think that's what we've been looking for. Sean can help us up the middle. Obviously has familiarity or playing with Johnny. It's the first time in 3 years I've heard Johnny saying he wants to play with Sean, and it's the wrong one.
Are you sure? Maybe he was talking about you.
I don't know. I know, exactly. I've been waiting for that one. I was going to wait for that one for the guys, but I guess I blew my cover here. So Johnny wants to play with Sean. Maybe I'll see if it's me. But anyway, no, it's good. We're excited. Jack's obviously a Stanley Cup winner. He's seen it. Been on good teams. Been around the league for a long time. He's been here. So we've got some additions. Obviously, just picked up a piece, Harris in the Line A trade. So we got some more pieces and some more depth. So we're excited. It's going to be good.
All right. Well, it's a lot of work to come. I'm glad that you had the opportunity to let your mind and your body relax before you went back to work. As always, it's great to see you. I always appreciate the time that you take for me, and we get to sit down and have conversations, and I can't wait to see you on the ice at camp.
Me too, Bob. Appreciate you having me anytime.
That is Blue Jackets forward Sean Corrali. Like to thank him. Also like to thank assistant coach Jared Boll for joining Jean-Luc Grandpierre and I on today's show. Next week, we're one more week closer to training camp, and I'll be back with another edition of The Inside Edge presented by First Merchants Bank here on 97.1 The Fan.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Kansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, you can get up to $1,500 off select appliances from top brands like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances, like the LG Smart Top Load Washer with easy unload angled front, so you can reach every last sock. Right now, get up to $1,500 off select appliances in-store and online with Labor Day savings at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Pricing valid August 22nd through September 11th. U.S. only. See store online for details. America's most reliable line of appliances per independent study.
And what is it called?
A ceiling fan.
And where is it?
It's on the floor.
And why is that a problem?
Well, see, the person who named it probably should have called it a floor. No, that's not right. The guy on TV I saw put up a ceiling fan.
Are you a TV star, Paul?
No, I'm not.
Are you an electrician, Paul?
I am not.
You are?
I am a middle management accountant, and I shouldn't be putting up ceiling fans.
You should.
Call the pros who knows.
Apex
Pros.
The pros who know electrical work, too. Hi, it's Alex from Apex Pros, and if you'd like us for plumbing, cooling, and heating, you're gonna love our pro electricians.
Apex Pros are on the way.
Much easier, isn't it?
I'm glad we sorted this out.
Me too.
Columbus loves the pros who knows. Schedule with one click at apexpros.com.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters and... Hey, what the...
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationships with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say...
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.